Hi, I'm Susan Wiggin with the Kids First Center, and I'd like to talk a little bit about do's and don'ts of what to tell our children when we're going through a separation or divorce process. First of all, and really the most important thing, is that our children can never be told enough how many times over and over and over again by both parents, if at all possible, that the separation or divorce is never their fault. There was nothing that they did to create the separation or divorce, and there's nothing that they can do to fix it. It's also really helpful for our children to have concrete pieces of information when we have them, not just when we're telling our children about the separation or divorce, but as time moves on and you continue your co-parenting relationship with your child's other parent. So concrete things like when someone is moving out, who will pick them up from their extracurriculars, when they will be at each parent's house, those concrete pieces of information are really critically important to our children feeling safe and stable going through the process. What is not ever helpful for our children is to have even small pieces of information about the whys of the separation or divorce. The other thing that's really tricky when our children come home to us is, especially often at the beginning of a separation or divorce, when children start moving between two homes, they'll often try to check things out with us, and they'll say, "Mommy said this," or "Daddy said this." And our first gut reaction is we want to explain ourselves, we want to defend our position, we want to state our perspective. But really what children are looking for when they come to us with these things is, first of all, they want to know if they have information that you don't have. Sort of the whole knowledge is power thing, and they want to see where the holes are in your co-parenting relationship, because children's developmental needs don't change because of our marital status. So they're still doing the things that developmentally are appropriate, and what children do is they bust up against our parenting sort of support and guidelines, and they see where the holes are and what they can get away with. The other thing that they're really articulating to us when they say things like that is, "I'm sad, I don't like this, I have questions, I don't know what to do." But saying something concrete and sort of provocative seems to be an easier path for children to take, and they want to test out if they can talk to you about things. As soon as we as parents explain or defend our position, we've told our children that we're not there for them to really hear what's going on for them, and that's the whole purpose of our children being brave enough to come to talk to us about the things that are desperately sad for them about the separation or divorce. One of the things to remember as we're going through a separation or divorce is that the process is very much like a death, and there are stages of grief much like a death. So our children really need to be loved and supported through the emotional process that they're experiencing. The other thing that can be really tricky is when we're expressing ourselves to our children. It's a great, I think, sort of factoid to know that about 7% of our communication is verbal communication, and about 93% of our communication is nonverbal communication. Huffs, puffs, eye rolls, sighs, clenched teeth, holding our arms tightly around ourselves. All of these sort of reactions send messages to our children that we don't need to verbally articulate how we're feeling or what we're thinking. They're watching us all the time, and they get a lot of information from our actions and reactions. Sort of the classic that I see when I'm working with parents is a phone call will come in. We see that it's our co-parenting partner on the phone. We're not happy to hear from them perhaps, and we'll sort of and we haven't said anything, but if our children are watching and then they find out that it's their other parent on the phone, we've just communicated in actually a lot of detail how we feel and what we're thinking about that situation. So the more that you can be mindful of your own actions and reactions, and those simple huffs, puffs, sighs, and eye rolls can be really helpful to our children. The other thing that's really important to remember is that our children nor our co-parenting partners are our emotional support any longer. It can be very tempting to try and get our emotional needs met by finding out from our children what's going on at the other house, or by trying to talk with our co-parenting partner about how we're feeling and that we want to be heard. One of the things that I say when I'm working with folks is to line up their best friend, jogging partner, and therapist all on speed dial conference call, because that's where we really need to focus on getting our needs met, not through our children, not through our co-parenting partners.